Welcome back. It's day 16 of our work together. And this week, starting yesterday, we've moved into a theme of connection. So yesterday we connected with spirit, and today we are going to do an exercise that helps us to connect with the most vulnerable part within ourselves. So what do I mean when I say that? I think at first, let's just take a couple of deep breaths to kind of ground our energy and come together, and then I'll explain to you what we're going to be doing, okay? So let's just bring our attention to our breath, our body. Slow, deep inhales. Noticing your body, where you're storing tension. Just starting to bring your attention to your breath. Good, let's take one more together. Excellent. So, as human beings, we all have different parts of ourselves. What I mean by that is that we have a part of ourselves that's super resilient and strong and competent, right? And then we have parts of ourselves that can feel really vulnerable and frightened. And that part may even feel young. So it's really important that when that part of us comes to the surface or gets activated, that we don't abandon that part to kind of be on their own. That we show up for that part and we develop a relationship between the resilient part within us and this vulnerable or scared part within us. So with the collective trauma that's happening right now, it makes total sense for some of us to have that young part of us that's frightened or worried or fearful to be coming to the surface, right? And this may present as in different ways. It may be your monkey mind kind of going quickly and thinking of all the what ifs, or it may be feeling some anxiety in your body, or it may be that you're not sleeping well at night, right? There's lots of different ways that this vulnerable, scared part can show up. It's really important that we learn to tend to that part of us and soothe that part of us. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do one exercise that helps to bridge this relationship and nurture this relationship. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is you're going to need your journal for this one, or a notebook. And we can just write down whatever resonates with you, whether you want to call it your vulnerable part, or your scared part, or your inner child. Whatever feels like it resonates with you, go ahead and write that down on one page. So it's like, I'm going to call it my fearful part. Okay? And then on another page, I want you to identify kind of that really like the adult version of you that you know is really resilient and has got this and is going to get through this no matter what comes your way. So I'm going to call that part of me my resilient part. And go ahead and write that on another page. Okay. So what we're going to do in this exercise is we're going to visualize and we're going to allow a dialogue to develop between these two parts so that these two parts become in relationship to each other. Okay? So just follow my lead, and remember there's no wrong way to practice. So if this is the first time you're doing something like this, whatever comes up is okay. Whatever comes up is your right. So try not to have any self-judgment and just allow yourself to visualize and feel and just notice. Just notice what thoughts come up. Just notice what memories come up or what feelings come up. There's no wrong. Okay? So let's begin. If you feel safe to close your eyes, go ahead. And we're going to take a few deep breaths. getting into your body. And I call this the stage exercise. So I want you to start to visualize a stage. Maybe it's a stage in a theater that you've been to, or in an auditorium, or a fantasy stage that you've never seen or been to but is coming to your mind. And just visualize this stage. Now I want you to imagine, as you're looking at the stage, that fearful part of you is standing on the stage alone. And this fearful part is the part that maybe has been activated while we're going through this collective trauma of coronavirus. The part that maybe is up late at night worrying, or the part of you that's grieving, or just feeling fearful, scared, vulnerable. Just allow yourself to visualize that part of you on the stage. And take notice of how he or she is appearing to you. Maybe they're appearing as a young child. Maybe their body language is a little frightened. Just notice what you notice. Now I want you to give this part of yourself permission to have a voice and permission to speak everything that they're feeling. So they are on this stage and it's a monologue. They're going to share everything that they want to share, their thoughts, their feelings, their experience. And I want you to allow yourself to take a moment to write down whatever is coming up for you from this part of you. Good. You're doing great. And now let's try to get back to that stage visualization. And we don't want to leave this part out there all by themselves. We want to engage another part of ourselves in a dialogue with this part. So now tap into a resilient part of you. Maybe it's the parent within you that's a nurturer, or maybe it's your professional self that really knows how to get things done. Or maybe it's the resilient part of you that has survived challenges in the past and has made it through and knows that you can make it through. Start to visualize this other part of you coming out onto the stage. And notice what they look like. How are they presenting? Notice how old they're appearing to be, their body language, if it's confident and assured, if there's a nurturing, loving energy. And now we're going to allow these two parts to get into a dialogue. So, let this resilient, nurturing part of you speak to the scared, frightened part. And just notice what they want to say. And take some deep breaths so you can really be present in this experience. And just notice what they're saying. Maybe they're sending messages of reassurance, like you're not alone, I'm with you. I will keep you safe. We will get through this. Just notice. And when you're ready, come back to your journal and write down everything that that part of you was feeling and saying in this dialogue. So for instance, I'm writing, "You're not alone. I will do my absolute best to keep you safe and protected. There are a lot of people that love you and support you. Don't forget that I'm always here." So I want to encourage you to really get down what that part of you wants to say. And let's take a moment just to set the intention on that stage for these two parts to continue to nurture and foster a relationship with each other. So whenever you start feeling really fearful or anxious about what's to come or about what's happening or not being in control, let this really powerful, loving, resilient part of you come to the surface and tend to and be in dialogue with this vulnerable part of you. Let this be just the beginning of this powerful relationship, where you know that you have the ability at all times to tend to yourself, that you can nourish and nurture yourself, that you can find resilience within yourself, that this connection is always available to you. And may this relationship grow stronger and stronger day by day. Thank you for participating in that with me. Let's send so much continued strength and love to all of our doctors, nurses, healthcare workers. We see you. You are our heroes. We are with you. To you, here is my energetic hug and reminder to be so nurturing to yourself and to those around you. I'll see you tomorrow. Good timing. Be well.